Welcome to the world of Kenny Candlesticks. Watch as a green joker opens a magical book, and charts and patterns explode into view. Prepare for insights and strategies. Your trading journey starts here. Get ready for the show with Kenny. Subscribe and turn on the notifications.
Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful evening, and today I would like to go over the XRP price chart. So we all know what happened last night at around 11 o'clock. I was up watching the charts and we got a big liquidation wick and sell-off here. It really could have gone either way, but we talked about this long before any of this transpired here. And originally our thesis was that XRP is making this consolidation here and you were going to get a break out the top and then possibly a revisit into this funnel here. We definitely got a revisit, so I hope that everyone's okay, and if this leg didn't shake you out, this will actually be more fuel for the run up. You're going to have more serious traders and investors, and there's going to be less leverage on this market, which is a better condition for prices to rise in a stable fashion. So these liquidations, I know they're not fun. I really do. I hope that everyone's okay after this, but these liquidations pave the way and stop out weak hands so you can get a more sustainable move upwards that's not going to have sell-offs when we reach certain points. Because if people are on leverage here and then they get their move up here, they might sell and it can keep price compressed, or they might get scared as it starts to roll over, and they're going to have a large influence on the market because these people trading $300 on a 20x, they're controlling 6,000. So think about that ratio. That's where smaller traders, they matter sometimes. And anyway, this liquidation wick cleared a lot of those out. We're gonna see still if we get any kind of follow through here. I'll stretch this trend line out. Trend lines aren't the most important thing. I'm gonna tell you guys today what I think is going on from a TVP perspective. Because if you've been following my work for the past couple weeks, even to my last video, we talked about these areas, and we talked about this illiquid weekend. Like, go back and watch it on the last video. We talked about this illiquid weekend right here on the 6th of September. And, I keep repeating that. And we had price come up here. We noticed there was an imbalance in price action around this level, very choppy price action, flat tops, flat bottoms. Whenever you see something like that, usually an extremely high percentage chance price will return to these levels before they make a sustainable move away so that liquidity for these levels can be squared away. So we talked about that. We got our pop out the top. It was kind of like a double top situation going on here. Wasn't sure if it was going to be an XRP fractal. That's kind of what sucks everyone in. You pop out the top right here, you make something that looks like an XRP fractal, looks like it's going to come up, but what does it do? Boom, it slams down for that double top target. As far as these TVP areas, I'm going to get to that in just a minute. Let me clean up the chart for everyone, because I'd say we're pretty much done with this upwards head and shoulders here. We made target, got a little overperformance, and that was about the size of your move. So I'm going to go ahead and just clean this area up so it's easier for everyone to see. And then we'll go ahead and we'll go down and just talk about the TVP levels. Price did respect these levels. We overshot the TVP, which is an area where price is extremely likely to come back to. We talked about this before this move ever transpired. We talked about this area. Price came up here, and then you broke down. These were all important areas. The actual TVP itself was this area right here of 2.6 7939, and that's a flat bottom candle in the 15-minute chart and up. You know, the larger the time frame for these flat bottoms, the more of an imbalance it signals, and it's even more likely through testing that these areas will get filled. So needless to say, we did get our pop out the top, came back, and oh yeah, we definitely squared this area away with this monster wick. I mean, that's leverage, liquidation, cascading, but you know, it's a cascading solve. But like one stop triggers another stop, so we did overshoot extremely hard. But where do we balance with reasonable price action? Exactly here. So far, right? Where do we need to go to fill out price action? Exactly here to this TVP. And now we're seeming to get a move up. You know, wicks like this, sometimes they signal large trend changes. This is a fairly large wick. So, of course, if you start trading down to about this area on the wick, that's when I would be getting extremely nervous of this overall move, and I may have to rethink my strategy. But we are not at that level yet. We hit this TVP. We have clean price action, obviously, all the way down here. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. Let's go to the 15-minute chart so we can see these areas a little bit better. So areas like this right here, you have a flat top candle right there. We know that area is going to get taken. It's probably going to get taken pretty soon as you retest this overhead trend line. As far as liquidity on the smaller time frames, you could see this large wick right here. That was fine. That's a large wick. That's balanced price action. You come up wick. I'll zoom in a little bit more. Wick. These wicks are good. This area right here hasn't been taken yet. So this low right here of 2.8047 still is open. So don't be surprised if we come back to that area. These previous TVP levels, I could erase them now because price already hit this area, right here. So price did come down, and that was the bulk of the fill. Like, we knew the areas perfectly. How would you know that beforehand? But we see it in the price action on a probability basis. So you're probably getting your move up here. You got all wicks across the top here. You got a flat bottom candle right there. Probably come up, take that. And then we're going to see. We have clean price action now all the way up until this TVP of 2.8043 with a flat bottom candle. And we have another one right here. So we still got areas down here. Don't be surprised if we make a move up here and we were to come back down and take these areas out. But the good news is, guys, if you held on for this leverage wipeout, I believe that this is the exact thing you would expect before we start to actually pick a direction and potentially start moving up. You know, we'll see if we come down past this stop, this red line here. I'm getting super nervous, and I wouldn't have any real advice besides make sure you're extra protected. But as far as right now, we held, we bounced up, we got a lot of buying, and you know, an added point, you guys, what was that level that we watched all the way from the beginning where large players were accumulating? It was right here, and we talked about it. 2.7. Where did we come? Exactly 2.7. More of those orders were filled. It was an extreme sell-off, but it lined up perfectly with what we expected for price action. Bounced off the 2.7. That was a solid wall. It got eaten all the way back up. And now you're sitting here looking like you might be ready to get an actual reversal and go. So there's still a little bit of work that needs to be done right here in this area, in my opinion. We'll be watching these blue lines. I'll actually go ahead and I'll delete these lines because as nice as it is to see price respecting my method, it's just confusing. these are the new areas. Watch for these areas. We know what they usually look like. This one looks like it already might have gotten taken care of. So to be conservative, we're gonna give you a level 2.8110. Still a little price action that needs to get taken care of down here before we potentially move up. But I believe this wick may be safe from around 2.7668 to 2.7292, and if we start falling below this red line, then we're gonna have to talk about a change of stance. But as of now, we still held. We got major absorption at the 2.7 wall, cleared out the TVPs, which we knew were there, came back up. No TVPs now until 2.8109. And so we're gonna see if we can finally get that move up, guys. I hope everyone's okay, and it's the name of the game, unfortunately, and the market's going to be a lot stronger now that a lot of weak leverage was taken out. So you can see it as a positive thing, hopefully. I know that I do, because we've been talking about XRP for a long time, and if you followed my work for any amount of time, you got your orders in at a great price, down much lower. This wouldn't affect you, but I know some people it definitely did. So hang in there. I believe that potentially this could be a sign of a reversal to come, and we may just get a move away from here, as long as we fill out clean price action. So I hope that everyone has a wonderful day, and thank you.